What's going on, everybody? Another episode of 4x4 Camping and Adventures, and today we are going to be doing a full review on the ProVent catch can and a full installation and unboxing video. So let's get into it. Alright, everybody, I've been waiting for this one in the mail. Received it, bought it off eBay, and got a really good price on it. So Western Filters came to the party and they sold me the whole kit for the MN Triton, and obviously, as you know, catch can is there to catch with a blow by oil. So let's get into it. Unboxing. So tax invoice, don't really need that, paid enough money for it. Alright, so what do we got in here? Obviously that's the catch can. Very nice looking hoses. One thing I want to recommend with your hoses is they're the equal size to the manufacturing hoses, or the manufacturer's size, or bigger. And these are lined with silicone as well, which is good. Drain hose, all the fittings, including the tap for the drain hose, and all of those good things. Little note, and a chopper chop. Watermelon flavoured, happy days. I'll save that for later. Manual and the bracket. Awesome. That's laser cut as well. That's pretty cool, actually. Awesome. So we don't need the box. We'll get rid of that. That can go away. Destructions can go there. So this is the catch can. It's a pretty awesome little bit of kit. Now, the reason I went with the ProVent is the brand. Very good quality gear, made in Germany. So yeah, I didn't want to go anything too cheap because yeah, a lot of people, the crankcase can obviously pressurize with the if you put the wrong catch can on your car, and yeah, obviously that can cause further dramas down the track. So I went with obviously the ProVent. Obviously, as you can see in there, there's the filter. That all gets removed. I'm not going to bother doing that because it's all brand new. Drained, that's awesome. So that's a cool bit of kit. Alright, we'll get into it. First things first, on the first step of getting this set up, we just want to remove the two bolts that are just behind here. The main reason we want to loosen those up is to give access to the actual bracket for the catch can. Now, one is actually on the airbox, it looks like, and the other sort of looks like it links up to the ABS module. Now, you're probably hearing a lot out there about stories about people installing catch cans and having dramas with them. Now, yes, you can have a drama with a catch can. There is a risk there, like any modification to a car. But if you buy the correct catch can, obviously suit your vehicle, what you'll find is the catch can should always come with bigger hoses than what you get from factory, if not the same size. Now the reason for that is you don't want to hamper or cut out any flow from the actual crankcase breathing and build pressure in the crankcase. With pressure in the crankcase, then you can get into all sorts of strife. So don't cheap out on a catch can. It's not worth it. Remember, this is your car, this is your motor, so you are probably going to have to spend, I think these things cost about $7 grand to rebuild, and that's a Triton 4-cylinder motor, so you can only imagine what a V8 costs to rebuild, or any other direct injection diesel. So they're not cheap. So last thing you want to do is cheap out on a catch can and yeah, be up shit creek without a paddle. Now, another thing to consider, the reason you buy a catch can is cars obviously in the crankcase. Well, how it all works is essentially when you let diesel obviously go into the piston on the combustion, sometimes, well, 90% of the time, oil leaks through the piston rings, just a little bit, and it gets into the crankcase. Now when it gets into the crankcase, it makes a vapour. Now that vapour's got to go somewhere. So what these modern day cars do is they have a thing called an EGR system. And that EGR system, there with me, this EGR system in the car, what it does is recirculates that vapour, which is good. In a perfect world, that's fine. But with that comes a thing called soot. Now what soot does to your internal engine is essentially clog up your intake, because the EGR valve essentially recirculates the vapour, and with that it makes a carbon build up in your intake. Now what you're trying to achieve with the catch can is the legal way of not blocking off your EGR, because obviously blocking off your EGR is illegal, but a lot of people do it. And look, I'm not a huge fan of blocking an EGR off with a blank, because you can throw codes and that sort of thing. So I got another system which actually still allows me to block the EGR, but don't have to use a blank. And if you want to know more about that, you can show me a comment and I can let you know more about that, but I won't go too much into it because the guy I bought it from sells them directly, and I don't want to give him any more attention than he needs, unless he approves me for going through it with you guys. But essentially it's this little controller here that sends a signal to the ECU saying don't open the EGR valve. So it works perfectly, because I had a look at my intake and my intake's as clean as a brand new car. So there's nothing clogging up my intake, but I did notice there was a lot of oil and all vapours obviously in the intake, and it was getting to the turbo, and what that can do is actually cause damage to your turbo, because essentially what you're doing is allowing oil to go through the turbo, which is spinning at 200,000 RPM. So the last thing I want to do is obviously put anything foreign into the turbo. So because the last thing I want to do is have to buy another turbo. Alright, so I've already pre-set up this up, so obviously this all goes down here. Now I'm going to set this up later on, because I don't want to be right next to the turbo, because that's just guarantee you're going to cause me dramas. Essentially the bracket it's a little bit tricky, but it goes down like that, and then these two bolts go back into it. So it's a little bit fiddly. I mean, I probably could remove the airbox, but that would be a little bit inconvenient. There's ABS modules in the way, it's a real pain in the ass. Of course, the first thing you don't want to do is drop a bolt in your engine bay, because you never find them again. Just then you get lost in the abyss of the engine bay. Actually, the other day I was doing an inspection of my engine just before I did the latest video about what you should do before you trip. I actually found a roll of electrical tape just in here, and I was like, what the hell is that? And yeah, roll of electrical tape just hanging out in my engine bay. Don't know how long it's been in there. There's clearly roll loads in there. Now these catch cans are fully serviceable, so essentially there's a filter in this, and what you do with that is essentially when it clogs up, some people say you can get about 50,000 Ks out of a catch can filter. I'm not one to judge on that. I've never had one, so I can't say how many Ks I'm expecting to get out of it. But some people say up to 50,000, some people say 30,000. You should do it every 20, 30, 40,000 Ks. I mean, personally, I'm just going to keep an eye on it and see how it goes, and regularly regularly drain it, all that kind of thing. So I'm not going to go too crazy and drain it every 1,000 Ks, but they do say check it regularly. Mine's quite easy because I've got a drain connection on the bottom, and all I've got to do is drain it in that, which makes life easy. Essentially put this whole kit together. You just need a socket and a screwdriver to, well, you technically don't need a screwdriver, you could use a socket to do up all the clamps, but yeah, it's pretty simple. So, here's the finished product. Inlet. Before, this was using this hose, which is lovely, full of oil vapor. So, it was going here to here, was circulating. Now we've installed obviously the catch can. It's going into the catch can's catching all the oil, or the oil vapors I should say. Once it's done that, it's releasing nothing but nice clean air back into the intake, going into the turbo, and that is it. As I said, this took 10 minutes, and I'm ready to go. I just got to do a little bit more adjusting with the drain pipe down the bottom there. I don't want it hitting on the turbo because obviously there's going to be oil in it, so I don't want it, having a catch fire or anything like that. But obviously all the rest of it's pretty basic. It goes into here. You just spin this around, adjust to where you need to be, and you are ready to rock and roll. It's really easy. As I said, you need a socket, 10mm spanner, depending on your socket in your car, and that's it. So once you've done all that, test it, make sure nothing's leaking. Put your clamps on there. Obviously, I haven't done that bit, and you're pretty much ready to rock and roll. But that is another episode of 4x4 Camping and Adventures, installing the ProVent catch can. Really happy with the product. The quality is fantastic. It's exactly everything that's everyone's been saying to me. It's a really good quality product, and as I said, the hoses and that kind of thing were one of my main stresses, because obviously this is actually a smaller hose, so this is actually smaller than the hose that I've replaced it with. So it's only a little bit bigger, but it's bigger than what the original was. So I've got no issues of the pressurization in the crankcase or anything like that, so I'm happy there. And yeah, I can't wait to test it out. I can't wait to put at least 1,500 Ks in the car and see what it comes up with, see how much oil it's sucking out. And I'll give you guys an update on Instagram when I release it, so you guys can see what it's done. But as always, I'll leave it there. Please subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this. Well, get prepared, because I'm getting a whole bunch of more stuff for it, and yeah, everything's obviously got to be DIY because I like doing that kind of thing. So I'll record everything I install, and we can go from there. But I'll see you on the next video on the tracks and trails. Please subscribe to the channel. Please hit me a like and chuck a comment on the section below, and I'll see you in the next video. See ya.